story of Dave's a kind of larrikin waster, who's such a bad gambler that all of his possessions, all of his house seems to be at the local cash converters.
He's a mad punter, and I love that. Everything you need to know about Dave comes through in that little kind of line of dialogue where he says, the stakes have just been raised, and he could get in a lot of trouble if things go wrong. And he says, "I haven't felt so happy since I gambled my house on a game of cards." It tells you everything you need to know about Dave. He's a great character.
Yes, yeah, and I think what happens is he stumbles across some uncut diamonds and a kind of smuggling operation. He takes the punt of trying to get away with it because he's got nothing to lose. I think, as one of his friends said, you're spinning out of control. And Dave says, "Yeah, but if I keep spinning faster, maybe I'll take off like a helicopter." It's this sort of desperation edge to him, and little does he know that the smuggling operation is being surveilled by the police, and some of the reasons that it's actually working is the police of about 3 countries are following him through Amsterdam and Scotland and to the Outer Hebrides. But I think what happens with Dave as a character journey is he slowly loses his taste for petty gambling on horses and things because his life is so full of that thrill of the chase. So I think that need for danger is replaced by real danger.
With the characters in, say, Random Malice, Amos, does he represent more than just, a cruel sociopath?
Yes.
Because he's threatening the kind of suburban, comfortable family unit that you're talking about. What does he represent beyond?
Thanks for asking that, because he embodies for me any recession. He actually embodied. When I first wrote that, I had a young family. I was self-employed as a freelance writer and director, and had friends who had a building business, and that kind of fragility during a recession, that things could just happen to you beyond your control and completely break apart your family and everything you cared most about, was one of the things that Amos became. He became a drought for farmers. He became a world recession. He became all those things that can come into your happy suburban life and kill your dog and threaten your children and take your wife and destroy your business, and you don't even know who they are.
Or why they're doing it.
Why are you doing it?
Random malice.
Repeat, random malice. The story, for those people who don't know, is a taxi driver, of a 40-year-old taxi driver who's kind of burnt out, takes on 2 nasty little Australian-style hoodlums, and discovers that he went to school with one of them, and he's about to kill someone.
JJ the jockey.
Yes, JJ the jockey. And that story, JJ, was built on the stories I read about, I suppose I shouldn't say, but a famous ring-in.
Famous
ring-in that occurred in Australia. And I read the story that the jockey in the ring-in had been sent to Europe for a couple of years to hide out with his girlfriend. And I became intrigued by this idea that the girlfriend would be in Europe, and what happens if the girlfriend started reading books and going to museums. So Grace's story is when she comes back, oddly enough, for the birds, which is the least genre piece. It's a kind of crazy.
You're using kind of that filmic thing of rapid changes of short scenes, rapid changes of points of view,
and characters that are colliding, like the internet, but also colliding like an episode of Number 96 with guns and bombs.
Homemade guns.
Homemade guns off the internet.
Even more dangerous.
But that story probably I broke out of the structure of that story because it had so many. It actually had 4 different interlocking stories and a central character, but the mayhem allowed a relaxation of the structure. So that probably...
It also allowed you to tell the story from the point of view of a bird, you know. There's one of my favourite characters in that story, Chris, and his kind of tender romance with Antigone. That's classic.
And it's the first existential canary, I believe.